Hey sound guys and girls, I'm Jimmy Hepworth, your Saturday sound guy, and today I'm going to show you some underwater style sound effects. Make it sound like your subject is listening from under the surface of the water. I have this little voice here. He's got to come up eventually. A sinister man is waiting at the surface of the water, waiting for somebody to come up for air. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a plugin, an EQ. I'm going to turn on this low pass filter, bring up the Q all the way, and then bring this down to about 1.5 kilohertz.
He's got to come up eventually.
And I think I want that even further down.
He's got to come up eventually.
Now you can hear that I'm taking out a lot of the higher frequencies. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a reverb. Just as a reminder, this can all be done in any DAW. I'm just doing this in Pro Tools because it's what I'm familiar with. Now I'm going to bring this up to around 11 so that there's a nice long tail. I've got it on a large hall reverb, and we'll see what this sounds like.
He's got to come up eventually.
Now that is really, really wet, so I'm going to bring this down to about 50%.
He's got to come up eventually.
You can hear those nice long echoes starting to sound like we are underwater. Now I'm going to make things worse by adding a delay. I'm going to bring this to about 120 milliseconds. Bring the wet dry down to 80. And let's see what that sounds like altogether.
He's got to come up eventually.
Okay, so we've got a nice underwater style sound effect. Now to make things sound a little bit more underwater, I've added this track called Water Fountain. And I'm going to treat this exactly the same way. I'm just going to bring these plugins down, and by holding Option on my keyboard while I'm on my Mac, bring these down to copy those exactly. Hear what that sounds like. Gives us the impression that there is some moving water somewhere. When we put these together,
he's got to come up eventually.
Okay, and now we've got this sound of somebody standing at the top. I think I might actually bring this EQ even a little bit further down.
He's got to come up eventually.
Okay, and there is a nice underwater sound effect. This treatment can also be done with something like a gunshot track. We're going to bring these same plugins down to this track and listen to those together. That's a really long tail. And if we listen to these all together, we've got a little bit of a scene here. And there you have some nice underwater style sound effects, as though the subject is underwater listening to things that are happening on the surface. Thanks for watching. If you have a sound effect you'd like me to try, go ahead and leave me a note in the comments section down below.